All right, today we're going to talk about equations with variables on both sides. It's important that you remember these three things. Make sure that you do railroad tracks. It's very important for you to be able to see the different sides of the equation because you're going to be moving a lot of things around. So you need to make sure that you have those. Also, you need to make sure that you box and circle. We need to be able to tell which like terms need to be combined. So all the boxes need to be put together and all the circles need to be put together, so you need to make sure you take care of that. Also, you need to remember that addition and subtraction must be taken care of first, and that multiplication and division are taken care of afterwards. So you need to do addition and subtraction first. Okay? Let's take a look at our first problem, and I already have the steps laid out for you here. So we're just going to follow what it says. We're going to do the railroad tracks first. So here's our railroad tracks. So now we know that here's one side and here's the other side. Now I'm going to box and circle. So let's box all the variables. Box the variables. Box the variables. And I'm going to circle the numbers that do not have a variable with them. So I've got that one, and I've got that one. Okay? Now it tells me to combine like terms by first combining the variables. So let's combine the variables first. We've got a box here and a box here. So we need to get them together. Okay? So a -2 and an x. Well, I've got the 7x here and the -2x here. One of them needs to move across the tracks. And to move across the tracks, we've got to do the opposite. So let's do this one because it just seems easier. If we do the opposite, right now it's being subtracted, so we're going to add. So add 2x to that side and add 2x to the side, because what we do to one side, we do to the other. Well, that cancels out, and here we get 9x. And we didn't do anything with him, so we're going to bring him down. So that's 19 equals, that canceled out, but we didn't do anything to him, so we're going to bring him down. Okay? I can box and circle again because I still have a lot of stuff there. So I can box my variable that I have. Got a +9 there. And I can circle my numbers that do not have variables with them. Okay? And again, we need to combine. So combine the numbers this time. That's my circles. We need to get them together. Well, check that out. It's got to go across the tracks again. So we need to move this 19 over here. And the reason we're moving the 19 over here is because we cannot leave this side empty. If we were to move the 55 over here, this side would have nothing left on it. And we cannot have a side with nothing left. So we have to move the 19. Plus, this is where our variable is. And the variable wants to live in this neighborhood alone. So that means that everybody else needs to get on out. So we're going to get this 19 out by doing the opposite of the addition, which is subtraction. So subtract 19 from both sides. And when we subtract 19 from both sides, this cancels out, and this gives me 36. And I still have that left over. Didn't do anything with that, so we'll bring that 9x down. Okay? Well, now I can solve by undoing the steps left. There's only one step left. It's this right here to get x by itself, because the 9 is the only thing left on this side that doesn't belong. So it's being multiplied, and to undo multiplication, we divide. To undo multiplication, we divide. And what we do to one side, we do to the other side. Well, that cancels out, which leaves me with an x on that side. And 36 divided by 9 is 4. So x equals 4. But I still have this check to do. So by checking, I'm just going to substitute x, so 4, into my original problem where I had the x's. So I had 7x plus 19 equals -2x plus 55. I'm going to substitute that 4 in for the x. So 7 times 4 plus 19 equals -2 times 4 plus 55. 7 times 4 is 28. Plus 19 equals negative 2 times 4 is negative 8 plus 55. 28 plus 19, take care of that one first. 8 times 9 is 17, or 8 plus 9 is 17, carry the 1, that's 4. So we have 47 here with 28 plus 19. And then we have 55 and a negative 8, and that gives us 47. So 47 equals 47, that means our answer is correct. Okay? Next up, we've got another problem. So we're going to go ahead and draw the train tracks first. Railroad tracks. And next we're going to box and circle. So let's box our variables, and don't forget to box that sign in with it. Of course, you know when there's no sign that it's positive. And then we're going to circle the number. And with no sign there, we go ahead and assume that it is positive. Next, we're going to combine variables. And we're going to do that by the opposite of right here. So I've got this and this. So what I need to do is do the opposite of right here. So the opposite of subtraction is addition. So I'm going to add 9y to both sides. Add 9y, because what we do to one side, we do to the other side. And 6 plus 9 is 15y. And I still have that 80 left, so we'll bring him down. Okay? And next, our next step is going to be to undo the multiplication. And we undo multiplication by doing the opposite, which is division. So here we have 15 being multiplied by y. So we're going to undo that by dividing by 15 and dividing by 15. And by dividing those, 8 divided by 15, well, I think we're going to have to do some reducing here. So we have y equals 80 over 15. And we know that 5 goes into both of them because we have a 0 at the end of 80 and a 5 at the end of 15. So how many times does 5 go into 15? 3 is correct. How many times does 5 go into 80? You can do that right here on the side if you need to see it. That goes in 16 times. 16 thirds. We cannot reduce that anymore. So our fifth step is going to be our last step, and that is to check. So let's check. We're going to substitute that 16 thirds. So we have 80 minus 9 times 16 thirds equals 6 times 16 thirds. Okay? Well, I've got 80 minus 9 times 16. 9 times 6 is 54. Carry the 5. 9 times 1 is 9, plus 5 is 14. So that's 144 over 3, because I had that 1 there, equals 16 times 6 is 96. Divided by 3, because I had that 3 there. Well, let's see if that is divisible. That's the easiest thing for us to do first. And 3 goes into 14 4 times, minus 12, and I've got 2 left over. Bring down the 4, and 3 goes into 24 8 times, so that's great, that's easy. So now we have 80 minus 48 equals, is that divisible? Let's do that. 96 divided by 3. 3 goes into 9 3 times, and 3 goes into 6 twice, so we've got 32 over here. So now I've got 80 minus 48 equals 32. So now we subtract 80 minus 48, and we get 32. 32 equals 32. That means that this answer that we got over here is 100% correct. Okay, next. We are going to draw our train tracks. And we're going to box and circle. So box the variable, box the variable, box the variable, and we're going to circle the numbers. Circle that -10, circle the -7, okay? First things first, I'm going to combine these two boxes right here on this side. So I've got 3x plus 4x, and together they give me 7x. I didn't do anything with him, so I'm going to bring him down. I didn't do anything with him, so I'm going to bring him down. That's a positive 5x. I didn't do anything with him, so I'm going to bring him down. Got to box and circle again. I got that 7x there from combining them. I've got that positive 5x there from not doing anything. I've got that because I didn't do anything, and that because I didn't do anything. All right, I've got two boxes still, one on each side. So I'm going to go ahead and move this one because it's smaller and it's easier to move. And because it's already positive, I'm going to go ahead and subtract and do the opposite, and that cancels that out. And what I do to one side, I do to the other side. So 7 minus 5 is going to be 2x. I didn't do anything with him yet, so bring him down. I didn't do anything with him yet, so bring him down 2. And I can box and circle again. Got that negative, or that positive 2x, the -10, and the -7. And I need to combine my circles now. So here's a subtraction sign or a negative sign, and I have to do the opposite. So I'm going to do add 10. And what I do to one side, I do to the other side. So that cancels out. And I've got -7 plus 10 gives me 3. And I've got that 2x still there because I didn't do anything with him. And now I've got 2x equals 3. So these are being multiplied. The way to undo multiplication is the opposite, which is division. So I'm going to divide by 2. I do to one side, I do to the other. That cancels out. I'm left with x over here, and I've got 3 halves. So x equals 3 halves is going to be our answer. And we can go ahead and plug that in. We had 3 times 3 halves, because x is 3 halves down there, minus 10 plus 4x, and x is 3 halves, equals 5 times x, which is 3 halves, minus 7. Well, 3 times 3 is 9. 1 times 2 is 2, so I've got 9 halves, minus 10, plus 4 times 3 is 12, and 1 times 2 is 2, equals, here I've got another one to do, 5 times 3 is 15, and 1 times 2 is 2, minus 7, okay? So I've got 9 12s and 12 12s. I can do those fractions because I've got the same denominator there. I keep the denominator the same, and 9 plus 12 is 21, minus 10 equals 15 halves, minus 7. Well, I can't do anything with that because this one has a denominator of 1. And to make it 2, I have to multiply by 2. And what I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So now I have 21 halves minus 2 times 10 is 20, and 2 times 1 is 2. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. That's currently a 1, and I can't subtract that because that's a 1, and we need it to be the same denominator. So in order to make that 2, I have to multiply by 2. And what I do to the bottom, I do to the top. So I've got 15 halves here, and 2 times 1 is 2, and 2 times 7 is 14. Now I can subtract. 21 divided by 20 is 1. I keep the denominator the same. And 15 minus 14 is 1, and I keep the denominator the same. I've got a half equals a half, which means that my answer over here is correct. Okay, let's do another one. I can go ahead and draw my railroad tracks, and I can box my variable, and box that variable, and that's going to be a positive. And I can circle my number, and that's a positive. And now I need to combine my boxes. Here, combine those boxes. So that's being subtracted right now, so I'm going to do the opposite, which is to add. I'm going to add 3x, add 3x, and that cancels out. And over here I've got 14x plus 3x, which gives me 17x. And over here I've got 34 still because I didn't do anything with him. Okay? Now I've got 17 here. Well, it's connected to the x still by multiplication. And the only way to undo multiplication is to divide. So I'm going to divide to get rid of that. And what I do to one side, I do to the other side. So this cancels out, and I'm left with x on that side. And then I've got 34 divided by 17. Well, 17 and 17 is 34. So 17 goes into 34 2 times. So 34 divided by 17 is 2. So x equals 2. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to check my answer because I can, and I always want to be right. So it's 34 minus 3x, but x is 2, so we're going to put a 2 in there, equals 14 times x, but x is 2, so we're going to put a 2 in there. So 34 minus 3 times 2, which is 6, equals 14 times 2, which is 28. 34 minus 6 is 28. 28 equals 28. That means that my answer is correct. And let's do one more. Let's go ahead with our railroad tracks. And we can box our variables. So we have a positive 5x there, a negative 3x there, a positive 3x there. There's a lot of variables to combine here. And then, of course, we've got our 4 that's all by itself and an 8 that's all by itself. Okay, so let's combine the boxes on this side first. So I've got a plus 5x and a negative 3x. So if I combine them together, I get 2x. Didn't do anything with that, so I'm going to bring that down. I didn't do anything on this side yet, so I've got 3x plus 8, and I'm going to box and circle again. I've got my positive 2x here, and I've got my positive 3x here, and then I've got my 4 here and my 8 here. So I need to combine my boxes first. I've got 2 and 3 here, so let's do this because it's smaller and easier to work with. So I'm going to subtract 2 because I'm doing the opposite of that. And what I do to one side, I do to the other side. So I'm going to subtract 2x over there also. That cancels out. 3x minus 2x is 1x. I didn't do anything with that 8 yet, so bring him down. I didn't do anything with that positive 4 yet, so I'm going to bring that down too. And I can box and circle again. I've got 1x there. And I've got 4 here and 8 here. And I need to go ahead and take care of my circles now. So I need to move him away from the x. So I've got that plus sign here is being added, and to undo addition we do subtraction, which is the opposite. And what I do to one side, I do to the other side. So that cancels out. I'm left with 1x here, but we don't need the 1 because it wears an invisibility cloak. And I've got a positive 4 and a negative 8, which gives me a negative 4 when I put them together. So x equals negative 4. Okay, sorry about that. So we have that negative 4x, and then I can go ahead and check. So my original problem was 5x, and x is negative 4, minus 3x, and x is negative 4, plus 4 equals 3x and x is negative 4 plus 8. Well, 5 times negative 4 is negative 20. Negative 3 times negative 4 is positive 12, because I got the negative 3 and the negative 4, and negative times negative is a positive, plus 4 equals positive 3 plus negative 4 is negative 12 plus 8. Okay, this side's easiest, so let's do that first. Negative 12 plus 8 is going to be negative 4. Over here, I've got this 12 and that 4 there. So 12 and 4 is going to be 16, and that's positive, plus negative 20. Okay? And then negative 20 plus 16 is going to be a negative 4, and negative 4. They meet together, they check out, which means that my answer is correct. If you have any questions, first please rewatch the video. Make sure you have written everything that I have written, and then come into class tomorrow with your specific questions about whatever it is you're confused about. Have a great evening.